Labeling of GMO foods, also known as genetically modified organisms. The health issue regarding GMOs. Consumers of different food products want and need to be informed of what they are ingesting. Consumers must be made aware of genetically modified organisms, known as GMOs, or genetically engineered, known as GE, food sources. Information must be provided so consumers can make a conscious, educated decision on which products to buy and ingest. The Food and Drug Administration, known as the FDA, has required additional labeling of food derived from a GE source where it found that compositional differences resulted in material changes. So, what is GMO or GE food? It's the genetic material of a food that has been altered in a way that does not occur naturally, allowing selected individual genes to be transferred from one organism into another. Genetically modifying food began around 1996, and by 2012, 88 to 96% of corn, cotton, and soybeans grown in the U.S. are results of GMOs. The different viewpoints on GMO labeling. The scientific viewpoint. GMOs are not harmful to consume by the human population. They are safe to ingest, and there is no scientific research that supports harmful effects on the body or its systems. There exists a scientific consensus that genetically modified foods are safe for human consumption. Potential for development of different produce and animals being resistant against diseases and drought. Decreased need for pesticides, and food with longer shelf life. The public viewpoint. Complete transparency. The right to know. Some consumer groups, such as the Center for Food Safety, argue that individuals have the right to know what is in the food and how it was produced, pointing to overwhelming public support of this stance. The public consumers themselves at large agreed with the Center for Food Safety view that there should be full disclosure on the labels. There are not nutritional health benefits to GMOs, which is why many choose to avoid foods that have been modified and only purchase naturally grown or organic produce and meats. The clinical view. Scientists and researchers in support of GMOs. There are no adverse health effects due to GMOs, and they are safe to consume. They can decrease food shortage and increase shelf life. Many are in support of labeling. There's a disconnect between scientific knowledge and public consumer knowledge. Many members of the public are receiving their information about GMOs from social media sites and the internet instead of scientific, evidence-based research sources. The political view. Bill S-764 by the 114th Congress was signed by President Obama, and it requires food companies to disclose GMOs and GE in food. It's an amendment to the current agriculture marketing bill. The U.S. Department of Agriculture was to create technical standards in regard to GMO food labeling. These standards include some form of text, symbol, or QR code on the label that may be scanned by a smartphone. The social view. Trust. Consumers must feel a sense of trust when it comes to new, innovative food technologies, such as using GMOs. Perception of risk associated with new and the unknown, i.e. the beer research study, or the dichotomy of nature versus technology. Ethical consideration. People have the right to know versus ignorance on the subject of GMOs and GE products can lead to a lack of acceptance of the technology. People have the right to their own opinion, and that it may be that it tampers with nature. The benefits outweigh the risks, however. No discovered health risks, can enhance nutritious value of the food, lessen prices of the food, increase shelf life, which then decreases food shortage. It can also increase a pleasuring taste of the food. In summary, genetically modified organisms and genetically engineered food products are a controversial issue since its discovery and mass production in the 1990s. Scientific research is in support of the technology due to it having no discovered health risks and only positive benefits such as an increased nutrition, longer shelf life, decreased food shortages, decrease the need for pesticides, and lessen prices of food. Many members of the genetic public are not as accepting. Consumers want natural, organic ingredients, not technologically altered food. The solution to the controversy: increase funding for health education and promotion on the subject matter of GMOs and genetically engineered food. Education is key for any change in a person's mindset. Increase of exposure to fact, research, and study is needed. Starting education at a younger age about the subject before preconceived biases and opinions can be formed will allow the individual to be exposed to both sides of the issue before forming an opinion.